Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the live. Listen, if this is your first time stopping by, welcome. Make sure you join the family on your way out. Hit subscribe. If you've been here before, welcome back. It's your girl Felicia, and I just want to give you a terrific Tuesday tip because this is something that is going to help a lot of people. So make sure you share out the video, okay? Share out the video because it's going to help a lot of people, especially if you know some people who are feeling like their reality, their world, what they're doing, their life, is not showing up the way they want it to show up. Or maybe it's you. Maybe your life is not presenting itself in the way you want it to be presented. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful with our thoughts. We have to be careful with those thoughts that become words and those words that become action. You know how we talk about there's power of life and death in the tongue? That is absolutely the truth. All right? That is absolutely the truth because your inner content creates your outer world. And what I mean by that is the way you think, the thoughts that you have. If you say, you know what, today is going to be a horrible day, guess what you get? You get a horrible day. If you say things like, man, this job, this relationship, this situation is killing me, you know what it's going to do? It's going to show up just like that. I don't think we realize how powerful we are. I don't think we realize how much control we have. I don't think we realize how dynamic and directional our thoughts and our words are. Because again, the things that you think become reality. The things that you think, the words that you speak, those things actually become real. So your inner thoughts, your inner content is what's creating this outer world. If you're not seeing what you want to see, if you're not seeing what you need to see, maybe it's because you need to check your inner content. What is it that you are thinking? Because what goes in comes back out. You know what I'm saying? You know, people talk about the music that we listen to, the things that we watch, even the people that we're around. All of that becomes your inner content, believe it or not. Believe it or not, because all of it carries energy and your body absorbs it. Your body absorbs it. Your body absorbs it, and then you actually become it. You actually become a walking manifestation of what you're thinking. You become a walking manifestation of what you're feeling. So you have to be careful about what you're thinking and what you're becoming. Because you know how they say common sense ain't common? Let's change that first word in that sentence. All right? Let's change the first word in that phrase. When they say common sense ain't common, let's change that first word to conscious. Conscious sense ain't common because most people are not walking around in their actual consciousness. You know what I'm saying? They're just subconsciously doing things, right? So if you're not necessarily conscious of what you're thinking, what you're absorbing, before you know it, you become a walking manifestation of whatever that negative thought is, whatever that negative feeling is, whatever that negative environment is. So you have to really, 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 really be careful. And you know, we want to put that on other people. We want to put that on situations. We want to lay blame to everything else, but then we want to claim the positive pieces. But we can't do that. We have to be responsible for all of it. We have to say, okay, when I walk into this environment, I might be in the environment, but I'm not going to be of the environment. When I'm in this group of people, I'm not going to be of the group of people, because depending on who it is, what it is, where you are, what you're doing, you can actually absorb all of that energy, all of that aura, and you will begin to see a manifestation in your own life of what's going on. And I'll give you an example. Say for instance, you're around people that you know don't mean you any good. All right? This is just an example. Say you're around people that you know in your heart of hearts don't mean you any good. So every single day, you're in this environment of people that you know don't mean you any good. So subconsciously, consciously, deep consciously, all of that, you're real, even though you are thinking, okay, you know what? I'm aware, I'm hyper aware of the situation. And because I'm hyper aware of the situation, it's not going to affect me. It's not going to do anything negative, right? Since you think that you are hyper aware of what it is, you think it's not going to affect you. But what you don't realize is that really, 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 really deep down, your body is absorbing the negativity that you have laid claim to that situation. Because you said, these people don't mean me any good, what you are absorbing every single day, even though you think you're bobbing and weaving in and out of it, what is actually happening is that no good part, your energy is absorbing that. And you then become a walking manifestation of the environment that you are in. So, how do we fix that? How do we fix that? We fix that by changing our thought patterns. Changing our thought patterns. You have to, and you're not going to lie to yourself, right? You're not going to lie to yourself and say, oh, okay, well, these people love me. They're here for me. They're great. This is amazing energy. You're not going to lie to yourself about it. But what you are going to do is maybe change the thought pattern of it. Maybe say to yourself, hey, I'm going into this temporary situation. Hey, I'm going into this stepping stone situation. Hey, I'm going into this situation that is a beginning for me, a means to an end for me. So when you begin to say things like that to yourself, that is where you begin to see the manifestation of something bigger, something better, something that has a little bit better energy. But when every day you're saying, okay, I'm going in here and I know these people don't mean me any good and they're not good for me and this isn't good for me, this situation isn't good for me, this situation is killing me, this situation is hurting me, this situation makes me sick. Literally, that is what happens. Think about it. When you say to yourself, this makes me sick, you literally start to feel that feeling in your belly. You literally start to feel that feeling in your heart. You literally start to feel that feeling in your mind. And it makes you feel down. It makes you feel depressed. It makes you feel exactly what it is that you're saying. So we have to be careful because our inner content absolutely controls and becomes our outer world, and I think that nobody really, not nobody, but probably before recent times or whatever, at least growing up, right? Gen Z, this wasn't something that was really taught, because we are definitely a community of people that, if we can't see it, feel it, touch it, or whatever, it's not real. And so I think we have done ourselves a grave disservice by not teaching the fact that you have more control over your life than you think you do. You have more control over what happens in your world than you think you do. I think we have done ourselves a grave disservice by not teaching the fact that you can actually control your thoughts, your mind, your world, your life. You are in the driver's seat. Life is almost like a video game with a joystick or the remote control. You can control how things actually show up in your life, and we have not been teaching that. But we can start now because it's not too late. It is not too late for your life to look exactly the way you want it to look. It's not too late for you to have exactly what it is that you want to have. You can start right now today. You can change your life at any age and at any stage by changing, first off, by changing your thoughts. By changing your thoughts, you know. And I definitely got to interject right here. Happy Veterans Day to everybody who has served. Happy 11/11. It's a divine day. It's a divine number. And it's our responsibility all day to set the tone for our lives by having divine thoughts. And yes, that's easier said than done. But again, conscious sense ain't common. So now we have to take an uncommon approach to how we think and how we move. You know, forget the common sense ain't common, because guess what? We're done with being common. We're done with being average. We're done with the same old. We're done with the status quo. We're done with what everybody else says is okay and what everybody else says is satisfactory. We're done with that. We are now walking in a totally different wavelength. We're walking in a totally different frequency. We got a totally different vibe. Our mindset is totally different. And so we have to control our thoughts in order to control our reality, because our inner content becomes our outer world. And I would appreciate it if you guys would share out this video so that we can let more people know that there's more life out here to live, and there's more beautiful life out here to live if we begin to believe that that is what is actually true. Okay? We've got to believe that that is what is actually true, and we've got to control what it is that we think about that life, you know? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if maybe prior to now, you've thought a certain way. You can actually start totally different, and you can start right now. You can start right now by implementing thought. And you know, you're probably like, well, how do I change my thought patterns? You know, how do I change the way I think about things so that I can change my outer reality? How do I now encompass what it is that I want to see in my life? What are the things that you're reading? You know, what content are you putting inside your mind and inside your body? What is it that you're reading? What is it that you're listening to? What are the vibes of the music that you're listening to? What is it that you're bobbing your head to every day? You know what I'm saying? Is it negative? Is it something that is going to be fulfilling for you? Is it something that sounds like it's something that's going to, you know, tear the club up, tear the city up, tear your world up? If it is, then that's probably something you shouldn't be listening to, right? And I'm not saying that, you know, just every single thing that you listen to is going to dictate, you know, what you do, but you do have to realize that you are absorbing that energy of whatever it is, right? So what is it that you're reading? What is it that you're listening to? What kind of food are you eating? What kind of food are you eating? Are you eating overly processed food, things that are, overly acidic, stuff that's keeping you up at night, stuff that's keeping your stomach topsy-turvy, things that don't necessarily agree with your body? You have to think about, what is it that you are putting into your world, into your mind, into your body? Because what you put in your bucket comes up out of what you put in the well, comes up in your bucket. All right. So you have to think about, what is it that you are absorbing, because all of that becomes your actual world. All of that becomes real. You know why? Because it is. It is. And again, conscious sense is not necessarily common, because we're walking around thinking that all of these things are out here and they're not affecting us. That is absolutely not true. Everything out here affects you. So you have to, in a way, mentally filter what it is that you allow your mind, your body, your heart, your energy. You have to mentally filter what gets in, because what gets in becomes your without. Have you ever heard the term as so within, as without, or as above, so below? It is the absolute truth. Life is a mirror image. Life is a mirror image of what you think. Because if you really, really needle it down, what we think and what we feel actually becomes our reality. If you walk around and you say, you know what, I hate this job, do you actually think you're going to have a good day? Do you actually think you're going to have a good week? Do you actually think it's going to be productive? If you say, I hate this job, I hate these people, I hate this, this is killing me, this is hurting me, this is getting on my nerves, what do you think is actually going to happen? What do you think the actual living, breathing truth is going to be? The actual living, breathing truth is going to be a mirror image of the thoughts that you just vocalized. So again, going back to biblically, what we say, there's power of life and death in the tongue. People think that phrase, that only applies to what you say. No, because what you say starts with what you think. What you think starts with what you feel. What you feel starts with what you absorb. So what you are allowing to become your inner content is what becomes your outer reality. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful in and of all things, in and of all people, in and of all situations, in and of all environments. Nothing is safe nor sacred. You have to second guess and control your thoughts about just about everything. Because again, all of those inner things become your outer reality. So now the question becomes, what do you want your outer reality to look like? What do you want that peace to look like? What do you want that peace to feel like? How do you want that peace to show up in your life? Once you decide, okay, this is how I want to feel, this is how I want this to manifest in my life, this is how I want to prosper. Once you really lay out that plan and lay out how you want that to affect your life on an everyday basis, now you're able to reverse engineer and put those controls in place. Now you're working with something. How they say, now we're cooking with grease, or now we're cooking with gas, or whatever the phrase is. Now you're working with something, because you are putting into place a mechanism to filter those thoughts, those emotions, and all of those things that are out here that are creating, you know, that energy that you're absorbing. And that energy that you're absorbing that you think is not affecting you. You think it's not affecting you, but it is. And all of that becomes your outer reality. So, again, on this terrific Tuesday, on this amazing Veterans Day, and again, I just want to say thank you to those of you who have served. But on this amazing, terrific Tuesday, I just want to say, control, be careful when it comes to what you allow your thoughts to be, because that inner content absolutely becomes your outer reality. And if we want our reality to look the way we want it to look, because listen, I don't know anybody who says, I don't want peace. I don't know anybody who, now they might not vocally say they want it, but I don't know anybody who's ever said, I don't want peace. I don't know anybody who's ever said, well, I don't want to prosper. I don't know anybody who's ever said, you know, I don't want to do well in life. I don't want a great relationship. I don't want, you know, my family dynamic to be amazing. I don't know anybody who's ever said that they don't want those things. So even if you don't necessarily say you want them, I don't think that anybody is saying that they don't want that, right? So if your objective is to have a peaceful, loving, thriving, prosperous life, if that is what your objective is, then the first thing you have to do is to control that inner content, because that inner content absolutely becomes your outer reality. All right. So anyway, guys, listen, I want you to have an amazing day today. Have an amazing, thriving, terrific Tuesday. Let's control those thoughts. Let everything we touch turn to gold. Let everything we touch today turn into something amazing. Let everything we touch today exponentially grow in a positive direction. Let everything we touch today become a manifestation of the greatness that we are inside and out. Let everything we touch today become an example of the walk, the positive walk that we're walking. Let everything we touch today become a manifestation of the things that we want in our lives. All right? That's my prayer for me, and that's my prayer for you. On your way out, make sure you hit subscribe. I love you guys. Share out the video. Don't forget to give me some comments in the comment section. Let me know what it is that you're thinking, that you're feeling. If you have been working on this particular thing, if this particular thing is important to you, let me know. I would love to hear about it. All right. So control those thoughts today, because your inner thoughts, your inner content become your outer reality. I love you guys, and talk to you on the next video. It's your girl, Felicia. Have a good day. Okay. Bye-bye.